It's part of how one of the very first things I asked for when I became a senator was to have the opportunity to chair the legislature's Joint Committee on the Arts. And let me just quickly introduce Lauren Pizer-Maines, who's here. Just want you to be able to recognize her face. Lauren is our staffer. Lauren has a lot of experience in the arts community and has been a staffer for this committee for some time and knows a number of you as well. And you know, she helped to put together this wonderful hearing that we had a month or two ago that I'll tell you a little bit about in a second. Let me first of all just say this has been a really exciting week for the arts. I don't know if people know this, but we just celebrated the 40th anniversary of the California Arts Council's founding. It was founded in 1976 by Governor Jerry Brown, back when he was a young man. And the Arts Council has done an amazing job over the years of investing, over $368 million in the arts. I think they've done over 30,000 grants. A lot of their money's gone to under-resourced students and teaching artists in schools. We were just meeting with PS Arts just now, actually, and they've been a recipient of Arts Council funding. At the celebration, we had the National Poet Laureate who got his start as a poet with an Arts Council grant, and now he grew up in the Central Valley, Latino guy, and he's literally now the National Poet Laureate, and he got a start to the Arts Council. So that was very exciting. We took advantage of that anniversary celebration, all the folks who were in town, to announce this piece of legislation that I'm sure that you're aware of. And, this kind of came out of a really interesting hearing that we had a couple months ago, where we were talking about the fact that our school districts were simply not complying with at least the spirit of the education code and its requirements with regards to arts education. And, at the hearing, we were asked by several stakeholders, including Jesse and others, to consider fixing a longstanding problem that you all know about in our state regarding credentialing. Now, as teachers, that the visual and performing arts are critical to quality of life and delivering a quality education. And, part of that involves having a qualified teacher and having comprehensive training and knowledge and their high standards. And of course, there are only two disciplines that are explicitly mentioned in the education code that have standards associated with them that don't have a credential associated, and those of course are theater and dance. We're actually one of only two states in the country that don't have credentials for those two subjects. The other one's West Virginia, and it just didn't seem right to me that for no particular rhyme or reason that and when you go back into the history, it really seems to have come down to like some drafting issues back in 1970 that have never been resolved ever since. And it just didn't seem right that they don't have their own standalone credentials. And so I was pleased to introduce legislation to address this issue at a press conference back on Wednesday. It got great coverage. It was on NPR. We actually got a great shout out from Annette Benning that evening at the California Arts Council celebration, and the governor was there and others, which is fantastic. So it's Senate Bill 916. It's the Theater and Dance Act, which is ta-da. So the idea is that we will require the Commission on Teacher Credentialing to create single subject teaching credentials for dance and for theater, at long last giving equal billing to, with the other vital arts classes. So first of all, I just want to acknowledge and thank the current CDEA Executive Board, as well as past Executive Board members for their vigilance and on this issue, their support for SB 916. Nancy Ng actually came to the conference. I don't know if she's there. Very physically expressive when she, of course, you expect that from a dance teacher. So that was fantastic. Look, we pride ourselves on being the art entertainment capital of the world, and it's just ridiculous that we don't have these credentials. So, and my question continues to be, why is it that someone under our current system, if you major in dance as an undergraduate and you want to be a dance teacher, why do you have to go get your teaching credential in PE just to be able to have the right to teach dance? I mean, it's just ridiculous. And we all know that the background, the standards are just very different than those of PE. They're both important subjects, and we need good PE people, but it's just a different thing. And the fact of the matter is that our colleges and universities already reflect that. We've got 73 dance major programs in and around all over the state in both public and private private universities in dance. In theater, it's 131 different colleges and universities, in public and private, that offer theater majors. And to tell these graduates that they simply can't teach dance or theater unless they get a credential in English or PE just doesn't make sense. And I think it's a disservice to the instructors, the students, and the subject matter. So the idea is that we're going to allow recognize the specialized training associated with dance and theater, and we're being really careful. We're grandfathering in anybody who is teaching dance and theater under the old system. We also have special language. And we also have special language which holds sacrosanct the authorization system, so that if you are a history teacher or English teacher and you want to teach theater or dance and you've got a little bit of training in dance, no problem. You get your authorization. You're able to teach dance as well. So we're not impacting that one iota. So I'm hopeful that this may be the year where the stars are aligning. As you may know, the new president of the California Teachers Association actually is a music teacher, which is great. The California Federation of Teachers have already come out in support. I've gotten notes from friends of mine in the teachers union who are very excited about this legislation. At the press conference, we had a member of the CTA's credentialing committee who spoke in favor of the bill. So one of the things we all need to do as educators is work with our friends in the labor movement, in the teacher movement at the CTA, to say, look, we understand you have a legitimate set of concerns about credential creep. I get that. This bill only deals with the only two subjects that are in the Ed Code, that are specified in the Ed Code, that are required by the Ed Code, that don't currently have a credential associated. This is not about opening the floodgates. This is not about creating a credential for basket weaving. This is about, though that's an important art too.
Okay.
Basket weavers. But these are two identified disciplines in the education code. It's just addressing that one thing. And ultimately, I'm hoping that with the kind of support that's starting to coalesce and the leadership at CTA and your assistance, we can get CTA on at least to not be in opposition, hopefully to be in support. The same thing with UTLA. I'm very hopeful. I'm very hopeful to get maybe some of the local support from various teachers associations around the state. As I say, the CFT being in support is huge. And I really would ask you all to do your best to try to get your locals engaged and try to get them supportive. CTA will be having some meetings about this over the next couple of weeks. They have not taken a position yet. And if they could come out and support, that would be enormous in getting this thing passed. Even if they were to stay neutral, it would be enormous in getting this passed. And I need your help in that. I should say on the political side, in the legislature, we had Senator Bob Hertzberg, who was there, a former Assembly Speaker. We also, one of our other co-authors is Senator Jean Fuller. It's great news. It was great news because Jean, a former superintendent, she gets this issue. She actually is the Republican leader of the Senate. So to have the leader of the Senate Republicans plus a group of Democratic senators pushing this, that could make for a very special coalition on the political side. But now we really need your help in engaging your legislators, engaging with the California Teachers Association. We need, letters, emails. Go get a meeting. Explain this to them. Explain about how this bill is going to be careful, how it's respecting those teachers currently teaching, how all it does is allow dance teachers or dance people, theater people who want to come into the system to be able, that can be their entree into teaching. It respects their disciplines. It allows them an entree into the teaching profession. That's all this is about. And I think if we're able to explain this to more teachers, if we're able to explain this to the CTA, if we're able to explain this to legislators, both your assembly members and your senators, that will make a real difference. And ultimately, this has failed in the past. It actually got all the way through the legislature once and was vetoed at the governor's level. But I think this year, this may be the opening. We're very optimistic, but it's going to take a lot of organizing and a lot of work. And so let me just give you a couple phone numbers. First of all, Tiffany Mock is on my staff. She's helping to coordinate this effort. Her number, our office number up in Sacramento is 916-651-4644. 4026. You can put that on your on whatever, if you have a board up or something. So please be in touch with her. I think she's listening into this right now. And then please go get meetings with legislative staff and with your union leadership in your districts and make the case as to why this is such an important bill. And we are absolutely committed to working with, sitting down with all the other members, sitting down with union leadership to get this through this year. This is the year. This is the moment. Have a great, great conference. And just thanks so much for making it possible for me to join you. And thanks for your support. Thank you. Let me pick it up. What do we do now? Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you.